I wrote this poem because I'm thinking about moving to prosecute the people who abused me. I'm pretty sure it's called Angels in the Courtroom. I might eat cookies for breakfast, but I promise you I deserve them because anything sweet that I eat in adulthood is clearing away the bitterness of my childhood. I see my life shifting back into a light I thought burned out, and I am afraid that my words won't ever say how hard I tried, or how dark they turned me. And I am happy and I am sad that even when my words can't say what I need them to, I have more than that to express the duress of the oppression I suffered, seeming similar to what happens to impoverished children as they grow up in war zones. Even as the clean white sheets and fancy dresses of the women sitting next to me in synagogue shined, polished with their price tags higher than the cost of food it takes to feed those children for a full year. My hands hold the energy of angels, and when my darkness burst through my chest like a fire hose at 18 years old, spewing the blackened memories in every direction as the house of who I thought I was burned to ashes, the fire roared out the windows as they shattered, and the sirens of the fire trucks fighting the false life I created in my head whirled loudly in my ears for years. The hose of depressing truth spewed at full force on the sunlight that never quite reached my eyes. As I tried to recover from the misery placed on me by others, and I did just that. I recovered. I tried to crack my knuckles, but only half-heartedly, because the pain of bones popping and carbon releasing from my joints is too much for me now because my pain tolerance is shot. I already tolerated all the pain I could. I decided 2 years ago that I would not move to prosecute. I created a list of reasons and posted it on Facebook saying, 1, that he might kill me, and 2, he might find someone else to, and 3, he is a lawyer with connections, and so 4, he might be proven innocent, and 5, he might do far worse to me than kill me like he did when I was a child. But his guns and his money and his genius and his connections cannot penetrate the shield of Archangel Michael, and Archangel Michael happens to be my best friend. 2 years ago, I didn't realize this, though, and I made the list on Facebook so that my friends would stop asking me why I kept making a choice that put other children who looked just like I did at 6 years old at risk of suffering the way I suffered. The community of sexual abuse survivors and advocates misplacing responsibilities to save the world on my shoulders, even as they were telling me that getting raped a lot was not my fault. Sexual assault advocates stood on their soapboxes and all their words turned to foam on their lips, frothing falsities because they too could not understand. Again in my life, I experienced the people who I thought were my supporters turn their backs and retract from the deeper truths, judging me for not being brave enough. And they were wrong, of course, and also they were right. All this time I have been holding on to the responsibilities of my abusers. I never said to them, "You did this to me. This happened." Instead, I read the obituaries in hopes of seeing his name listed, in hopes of breathing a breath of fresh air and allowing myself to move forward again. I think I might prosecute. I hear the words, I feel them across my lips, and as I feel the fear moving up from my hips, up from my heart, up from my neck, out from my head as my brain realigns itself, recalibrating my thought processes into my strength and power, I see an old friend of mine who died when I was 13, pointing at a map in my mind, pointing like an old-fashioned high school teacher with suit and tie and elbow patches at a map of my life, reminding me I already agreed to this step. Before Colorado, before my sacred community in the woods, before returning to the earth-based life of love I am creating for my future family, I agreed to wear business suits in courtrooms. I see angels in the courtrooms sitting on the hard wooden benches. I see my house of truth rebuilt. It is strong, so full of windows that daylight from heaven shines inside of me, and the darkness of night might never intimidate me again. When I look beside me, I see angels. And when I look up at the judges stand, I see angels. And when I look at the jury, I see angels. And when I look at the seat where you sit as lawyers ask you questions, forgetting the jargon of a courtroom, much less the jargon of the law, I see angels. When I look at the defendant's table, I see him there. And surrounding him too, I see angels. I breathe peace into this courtroom of my near future.